screen you out, not to screen you in. And what they're asking themselves is there anything here that will allow me to eliminate this person from further consideration? Isn't that terrible? But this is how they think. They are overwhelmed with the number of resumes that are coming through to them. So their job is to screen you out, not to screen you in. And that is why we talked about the hidden job market. When the resume is written directly to the HR manager or the hiring manager, they look at it differently, okay?
Yeah.
If everything is coming through on Indeed, or just, flying resumes off from your computer, this is what happens, alrighty? Okay, so in today's competitive job market, employers are overwhelmed with the number of applicants. Most of them aren't even remotely qualified. Oops. An employer only hope of getting to the viable candidate is to reject as many as possible. Alrighty, so now you know they are screening you out, not screening you in. So let's talk about the large companies. Large companies think ATS. We talked about this briefly on Thursday, remember? Applicant tracking system, the computer. Yeah, exactly. So a well-established organization and the big ones, they use this. And I'd like you to take a moment to read how, what we have written here for you. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So the applicant tracking system, we just call it the ATS, is actually looking for buzzwords, and those buzzwords are in your what? In the company's what? In the company's job posting, right?
Description.
And no, in the requirements. Most of the buzzwords that they're looking for is in the posting, and it's under the requirement. And sometimes, you remember when we were searching Aviva, Modi?
Yeah.
And it says, this is what we're looking for?
Looking for, yes.
Exactly.
The description.
Right. They didn't say, this is what, that you need to have. So they word it differently, and you have to really look at it and think about it. Oh, so they want me to have these. And some companies will put job requirements. They will have the job description. This is what we want you to do, right? This is your job description, but this is what you must have. Job requirements. So those buzzwords that the recruiter is looking for when she's searching will be coming from the job requirements. So she'll probably type in something like something that a company looking for someone with some certain type of experience in a database. She'll just type in the database, the name of it, and then the computer will populate the amount of resumes that may have that. And then she'll further scan again and look for another word, and then the computer will go through again and look for and start eliminating resumes now. You got it?
Yeah.
So that is what ATS is all about. is to actually, that's what they use it for, okay? So a lot of people that sit and apply and don't know really and truly about the job market, no human eyeballs ever seen the resume at all. Nope, never seen it. It goes to the no pile. We call it the no pile. There is the maybe pile and there's a no pile. Okay, so let's look at the next one. However, smaller companies think humans, right? Smaller companies.
Yeah.
They think differently. First of all, this ATS system is pretty expensive. It's very expensive. And they can't afford, well, not that they can't afford it. They could afford it, but they prefer to just look at the resumes themselves. So take a moment and read what's there, the smaller companies. Mm-hmm. Got it? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Your chances are maybe better with the smaller companies because they don't have this fancy system to screen you out.
Yeah.
You get a chance, they will read your resume and then they decide if they further want to pursue the applicant. Okay? So that's how when they're screening resumes. So here we go. Judgment time. What are we going to do with this resume? It only takes 7 seconds for an employer or recruiter to decide if they're going to move further with this applicant. Okay? So take a moment to read that. Let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, so a recruiter or an employer is going to look at mostly the top half of your resume. Do you think in 7 seconds they can read the entire resume?
Oh.
No. So your summary is really very crucial for you to get to be in the maybe pile. Summary of qualifications, right? Or summary of skills, whatever you want to head it. Your summary must speak to them about you and what you have to offer, who you are in a nutshell. And that summary is not more than 10 bullets, not more than 10, maximum 10, you could do 7 if you wish. Okay, functional information at the top to make sure you have, to make sure you are a good fit. They also have a brief look at your work history. They want to know if you have related background to the position you're applying for. Okay? However, if a company is willing to take on individuals with no previous work experience in that particular field, say a student or someone just coming out of university, or someone probably changing career, they will, and they're willing to train. They also look at this, they also look at, excuse me, the top portion about your interpersonal skills, your soft skills. Is this person trainable? Do they sound like, someone can fit in? Okay, so related career background. They look for companies, company names, titles, and so on and so forth. And years of experience in the field and a stable, very, very important, this part, stable work history. Yeah, very, very important. They use that to judge the person's character as well. If you keep hopping from job to job to job, and you're in the same field of work, you didn't change your field. You're just going to stay, but you want to change. You go from one company, you know what I'm saying, to the next, to the next, to the next. Then you go, this person, there's no stability here, right? So that's why they look at this stable work history. Next, I search the related keywords that show that you have the technical skills. And those related words are in your requirements. They're saying that you must have this, you must have that. So they also look briefly at that. So preference is given to a recent experience versus history. So if you did this work 10 years ago, and somebody who also applied, but they've done it 3 years ago, then that person would get preference over you. They quickly look at your education. Certification, if the job needs a certification. And if everything adds up and looks great, then they put it in the maybe file. Because now they have to scan other resumes. And so that you're in the maybe file now. Chances are that you may be called in for an interview or do an initial interview over the telephone. Okay, do you guys get in the gist of all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds tough to get your foot in the door?
Bit.
A bit, yes. True, you're being honest. So is employer being cruel and heartless? What do you think? No. They want you to get the best person for the job, don't you think?
Yes.
Think of yourself as a company and you want to hire someone. You want to get the best. Now, is the system flawed? Somehow, yes. But if we had, say that we have thousands and millions of jobs available in Ontario, right? How many millions of people live here, Ash?
Oh geez, I have no idea. A lot.
A lot, okay.
20?
30 million.
37 million people in Canada.
Oh.
So we can't have 30. I know, huge country, not a lot of people, eh? We're only 37 million in total.
Oh.
I know. That's why we need to bring in people from abroad. I don't know, maybe 5,000? Maybe more than that. 10. Ontario, we have a lot. But anyways, so we have more people than we have jobs, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have more applicants than we have jobs. So they're not heartless, it's just the way things are. Okay. So here is a how do you get your resume to the maybe pile? Read that, everyone. You see how it works, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I'm gonna give you some tools on how you can make your resume into the maybe and possibly to have a person to look at it. Hopefully, we can do that. I think that's it for that one. Yeah. Okay. So, any questions about this? Would you like to want to talk about this some more? Or you fully understand this? It's in your handout, so you should have a copy of this.
Yes, I think it's okay. Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share another handout before I go into the presentation. So here's a little handout for you. It says, what employers really want to see on a resume. And take a moment to read that as well. When you finish reading the top portion, I'll scroll down. So you see where he talks about your objective? And when we do the resume workshop, we're going to talk more about that. Everybody use the same line. To secure a position with a company that I can apply my skills and abilities. Everybody use that line. Okay? Another one is if your objective is, you could either use an objective or a professional summary. You can choose, and we'll explore that later on. Okay, but you have to kind of make it unique. That's all I'm saying. That's all he's saying, actually. You got it?
Yes.
Every resume must either have an objective or a professional summary or profile. Some people say profile. Profile is the same thing as professional summary, okay? Or an objective. In an entry-level or intermediate position, you can have an objective works best. In a management position and higher, you can do a professional summary or your profile, because it's an entire paragraph, tells a lot about you. So intermediate and entry-level, objective is perfect, or okay. Let's scroll down and see what else he has to say. Oh, he works at Apple as well. Oh, okay. So here, let's have a look at this, what this person, the real format. So these are the different types of formats in a resume. And take a moment to read it, and I'm going to just chat a little bit about it with you. I'm going to just scroll up so you can read the rest. And just let me know when you're done. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I'm done too.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty, let's go to the very top. So, real format. What he's saying is that we're going to talk about the different styles, and then you can think about what's most appropriate for you, or I can help you to decide which one is most appropriate for you. So, chronological is the most common resume, and this one is great if you have consistent work. If you have gaps in your resume, don't use this format. The functional is it's a great format for, you can list your skill sets here, and then you can do the employment portion at the bottom. You kind of hide the employer. And the combinational is a combination of the functional and the chronological. Okay? So what it's saying really is that you have to choose a format. You cannot have half combination and half chronological. It makes sense? You must choose a format, because a true recruiter, employers not so much, but a recruiter, anyone in HR will know which format you've written. And when they start seeing that you're mixing the formats, it's very confusing to them, and it sends a message to them. You don't know really what you want. Okay? So we're going to talk about the different formats and what best applied to you. Alrighty? It lets the chronological order is the easiest one to read, and the most recent job history first. Okay, so here they're saying 10 to 12 years of work experience, stable work experience. That's okay, but if you have less than that, perfectly fine. If you only have 5, perfectly fine. Alrighty? And you must use a clear format. Do not break them up. Okay, that's what this one is saying. Alrighty, sometimes do not put a lot of bold graphics on your resume. It's not okay. It makes it look misaligned. And some people put they justify their resume all right or left, and that is, unless you're really good at a publisher or one of those who can put it in order, then just use Word or one of those other easier applications to do your resume. But I've come across some resumes that just blew me out of the water with all the designs and all of these things. Color ink, color paper, can't do that. Resume must be on white paper, black ink, no color ink. Make sure that it speaks to the job, relevancy, very, very important, okay? So, but when a company is hiring for an accountant, but your background and resume is tailored to the retail management, so here the employer does not see the connection. You got it? So you have to make the connection to the position. You have to make the connection to the position that you're applying for. And we can talk about that later on. Here they're asking you, show me your value. What are you adding to the organization? What do you bring? Really, what are you bringing to the table? So they want you to tell them. It doesn't have to be a dollar figure. It could be work related. It could be, that you suggest safer way to work. You solve a problem within the organization. All of those things you want to bring up front. So make sure your resume is attractive. Make sure it's relevant to the job you're applying for. And make sure you have a traditional format, one of the ones above. Chronological, functional, and what's the next one? Combination. Okay. Use terminology that paints you as a valuable contributor to the company, because those are the things employers want to see in a resume. You got it? Yes. Say you got it. Hello, everyone.
Yes, we got it.
Okay. I know this is frightful, isn't it? Sometimes resume writing can be frightful. Okay. But we're gonna simplify it. We're gonna simplify it as we work through the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And you guys will have your resume, and we're going to choose a format together. We're going to look at your strength and qualifications. We're going to look at your soft skills, what you bring to the table, and how we can word it so it jumps out. Okay? So don't get too worried now. I know, but I just want to give you the hard facts of how they look at your resume. Okay? This is the truth. This is how recruiters and employees look at a resume. Alrighty. Alright, so we'll take a deep breath and we'll go into our exercise. Alrighty, I've got to stop sharing. Any questions on this? Anyone? Before we move on?
No.
No? Are you learning anything from what these people are saying? Of course you
Yes.
are. Yes. I'm learning too. Well, I was looking, Alrighty, so I'm going to jump into our presentation here. And let me find it. Can you see the presentation? No. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So here, I'm going to give you some tools, and if you want me to stop while you make notes on your computer, please just shout out to me, okay? Or, do you guys have a notepad beside you where you can write something down, right? Yeah, great. Because I always have that beside me, a notepad. I can take some notes. So how to write an effective resume. There we go. Stop me anytime, okay? So you remember when we talk about your marketing toolkit? Your resume was part of that, remember? It's a big part of your toolkit.
Yes.
Big part. Okay? So your resume is your marketing tool in your toolkit. A resume is a short written description of your education, your qualifications, accomplishments, previous work experience, and sometimes, remember, only sometimes you want to put some personal interest. Your personal interest is really when you go for an interview, the employer might or the recruiter may say, So Tilman, what is it that you enjoy outside of work, right?
Yes.
I want to know what you do with your spare time. I love to read. I go biking after work. I love to cook, whatever it may be. I like to cut and saw wood, whatever that is. Okay? So personal interest is only if it's requested in the requirements. They want to know, you put that in. Otherwise, that does not go in your resume. Because these are the questions that I usually ask in an interview. So what is it that you like to do after work? Okay, what do you spend your time doing? Which you send to an employer. So your resume is something you send to an employer when you are trying to get a job. And we're all trying to get a job here. Luckily for us, some of us have a job. Yay, Alicia. All right, let's move on. How long does a potential employer spend looking at your resume? 30 seconds. When they actually see it in front of them. Okay? 30 seconds. Not long, not fair. This is crucial. This is hard. I can't do this. I'm not going to write a resume because I only have 30 seconds. I'm not doing it. A lot of people think like that. Not going to bother because I'm just not going to, get the job. But don't think like that, okay? Don't think like that. It's not good for you. So when you're writing your resume, what are the information that you should really include on your resume? Very, very important. Number one, personal contact. Your objective or your profile statement or your summary of your profile summary. Some people say profile summary, profile statement. So it's the same thing.
Okay.
Very, very important. This
Hey Siri,
highlights of qualifications.
set an alarm at 2 p.m.
This is what the employer.
I turned on your 2 p.m. alarm.
That's where the eyes go to. Some of highlights of qualifications. You must have that, and it must read well. Your work history. Okay, very, very important. You must have that, and I'm going to show you how to write all of these. You're also going to have your education and professional development. When you're doing your education, you do not have to have the dates that you finish university, college, or when you finish a class, or a program.
Basically, you can say completed.
But for except like say in your university and your high school, you don't need to put dates on those. What you can do though, as a newcomer, very important, if you were to include this program on your resume, you need to put the current date. Because it's a professional development course, right? Somehow you're a newcomer, you're learning about Canadian culture and all of that. You can definitely put the current date on that. It shows that I did this since I came here. Dates are optional except for current education. If you did a course like in Tilvan's situation, Tilvan, you could put that you're pursuing your engineering degree, right?
Okay.
And that was 3 years ago, so you could actually put that date on there.
Okay.
If it's 5-10 years ago, you don't need to, especially high school. You don't need to put that. And your university degree, you don't need to put the date on there.
Okay.
Anything that is current and relevant, you can put the date on there. Any community involvement? Yeah, definitely. Volunteer work, you belong to an association, membership, and if you did anything else, absolutely put that there. At the very bottom, and this is not in, is reference not available. We don't do that anymore. So you don't have to put that on your resume. A lot of people still put it on, but it's not needed in the modern world anymore. Okay, but if you wish to and you prefer to do that, you can put references available on request or nothing. If they want your references, they're going to ask you, Tilvan, may I have your references, okay? Because an employer, to make a decision, employer is going to check your reference.
Upon request.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna go, let's go back. You need to put your contact information, objective, what are you applying for? Tell me about your skills and qualifications, your work history. And I'm going to show you how to make the alignment. So don't worry about this right, left, all of that. I'm going to show you how to align it. Education and professional development. Any additional involvement, definitely put that. And optional, your references. Right? You got that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there's about one thing here. And I always say this to my, under your summary of qualifications and before your work history, if you have achievements in your previous work, you want to put that there. Achievements. Just a heading, okay? Just a heading, achievements. And you want to say what you achieved at the company you worked at, or a company. You want to put that right under your summary. So Mobil, if you have that, please make a note that you need to include your achievements right under
The
the
line what Vikram, can you explain it?
If you have any achievements, if you've got any awards, say Employee of the Year,
Okay,
Employee
okay.
of the Month, those things
Appreciations.
I will call them achievements. So you want to put that because you did outstanding work,
Okay.
Employee of the Year. That's a big achievement. Okay, so if anybody has gone, Alicia, if you got, I know that you're a great cook. If you got honored by your past employer as an outstanding culinary artist or cook or whatever, you want to put that in your achievements, okay?
Okay.
Very, very important. Because right under the summary where the employer is going to hit first would be your achievements. He's going to look at it. Right? The moment you see the summary, he's going to look at your achievements. Because remember we talked about that, how they view your resume. So you put it up, that would be number 4 for you, and then 5 would be your work history, and so on and so forth. For those of us who don't have achievements, then this is your format. Okay, I'm going to show you how to align it and all of that, so we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so I want you to take out a pen and paper, and while I go through the different formats, I want you to think about your skills and abilities and write it down what you think which format is going to work best for you. What you think, okay? Alright, class? We okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So all of them, all of the different formats will include the objective, the summary skills, the educational history. Okay, all of them is going to include that. But in the chronological order, which is the easiest one to read and the most popular type of resume, and employers prefer this because it shows the consistency of your work history and that's showing no gap in your employment. They love this one. So you're going to write contains a reverse chronological listing of your work history. So, for instance, you worked at IBM as a technical engineer, okay? But that was 5 years ago. Today, you're working at Sun Life as an adjuster, insurance adjuster, right? So although you're applying for a job in the technical field, you may start thinking, I should make that my first thing, right? Because I'm applying for this particular job. Make sense? You get what I'm saying? But you can't do that in a chronological resume. You have to put Sun Life because it must show reverse date. So your most recent is going to be at the top. You got it? And you work your way down.
Yes.
Okay. They want to see this. What are you doing? What were you doing a year ago or doing 2 months ago? Oh, I was at Sun Life. I was what did I say? Insurance adjuster, whatever. Okay, so you're going to work backwards. So you go to the, so IBM is going to be there to come, later on, to come. Mention each employer, your job title. So it will be IBM, and I'm going to give you a format. I gave you a handout, so we're going to look at it together. It's going to be IBM, Toronto, Ontario, and below it, you are going to put your job title, technical advisor, whatever that may be. And below that, you're going to put, or you're going to list all your duties and responsibilities, and any accomplishments that you have done. Save the company, whatever you did, and how you did your work. Now, you don't want to make this into a long sentence. You may want to just put maybe 2 or 3 lines per job duty. You got it? Or sometimes 1 line if that's what you have. Or sometimes 2 lines. But you can't put a bullet and 1 word and leave it at that. It must say what you did. Compiled and what else? Compile and allocate skits to various departments, something like that. You got it?
Yes.
Alright, so you must have, this is where you're going to put your job duties and responsibilities and any accomplishments that you have. But with the accomplishments, I'm telling you to put it right under your like big accomplishments, not just, I helped my buddy out here, but big accomplishments that you got recognized for, recognition I'm talking about then. So don't put your recognitions here, you put them up just below your summary. It's a new way of doing things, it's what it is really. Okay, this is the most common type and most effective for people, for everybody, I guess, for people, okay. So now we go looking at the functional resume. So you worked, a functional resume emphasizes major skills area. So in this type of resume, you can list it, the headings is going to be skills. You got it? So at IBM, I was in the technical area. At Sun Life, I was an adjuster. Okay? So you're going to put your technical skills as a technical engineering, and you're going to put, instead of putting the company name and all of that, you're going to head it up in skills manner. And I'm going to show you a format for that. When I'm finished with the next one, I'm going to go into the actual resume and show you. So you got it? So it's going to be skills. The headings are skills. It's not based on the company where you work, but it's based on the skills that you have. You got it? No. Hello?
Yep, we've got it.
Okay, job titles and employers are listed towards the end of the resume. So here, in the functional, if you have gaps in your resume, if you've changed career, if you have, you want to don't talk about an employer that let you go. This is the type of resume that you want to write. Change in career, you have gaps in your resume, and if you want to hide anything, this is the resume you want, because it's not listing the employer right beside your job title. It's listing the employers at the end of the resume. So this is a skill set resume where it's showing all the skills you have, right? Okay. Due to the most effective of those wanting to make career change, oh, there it is, and emphasize your transferable skills. It's all there for you. I didn't even see that part. Also can be used by those who have little work experience but but have acquired skills through different means, like volunteer work, school projects, all of those things. Great resume. I love this, the functional. A lot of candidates use this functional resume because it works for them, right? Okay. Let's move on. So your combination resume is, as I said, chronological and the functional styles combined in one. The first part is set up like a functional with the skills areas, while the second part is chronological. So, what it's saying is that you worked at IBM as a technical engineer, so you're going to have that, but right beside it, you're going to say what you did and what your skill sets are, but beside it, you're going to have the company name. So if you're trying to hide that you haven't worked and there's a gap in your resume, you don't want to use this format. But it's a great format to use as well. It's a combination of the functional and the chronological, and it's bringing together your skill sets, and it also shows if you have gaps. Got it? Because we're going to have the employer right on it. Right in front of their face, employer's date is going to be there. The dates you work with the employer is going to be right there. It's going to show, oh, she hasn't worked in 2 years. What did she do? Right? So think about this one when you're writing your resume. This is going to be the type for you. So before I go on to the next, I'm going to take you to, I'm going to stop sharing and take you to the different formats, okay? So we're going to look at them together. Okay, where is that? Let me just find it, just a sec, please. Okay, got it, okay. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so this is a chronological template resume for you, okay? So this is how you would set it up. You're going to put, you have options here. You really do have options with
Just
resume.
to edit this.
Yeah, you can edit this. You can copy and paste into your resume. First of all, before I go any further, your resume should not be more than 2 pages long. It should not have a picture on it. Make sure that your email address
My mobile number.
is not like sexypants.com. It's professional, okay? Why are you laughing? I don't know. I can give you guys some jokes, eh? Give you guys some jokes. It's just a fun thing. Let's make it fun, okay? That's the best way we learn, when we have fun. You agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, when we have fun, we learn better than be serious all the time. Okay. So your chronological template, your name should be 14 points. The font that I like, what's my favorite font? I said in the beginning of class.
Calibri.
Yes, Calibri. Employers do not like a fancy font. Recruiters do not like these fancy fonts. Use fonts that are clean and easy to read, okay? And there are some copies for you. You have this in your handout. So 14, you can put your name at 14, right? There we go. Then you put your address. Make sure you put Toronto, Ontario when you don't have to put your postal code. That's optional, by the way, because most people are not looking at your postal code. Your phone number. Never put telephone number or just put your phone number. And the new way of putting your email address, the word email is not necessary anymore. So you don't have to write email, you just put your email address. So I have to tell Gwendolyn too, she needs to fix this up a little bit. So email doesn't go there, take it out, just your address, your email address, right? Make sense? Okay.
Yes.
And when you put in your phone number, your what is it called? Your area code is not in brackets. Never use brackets in your area code. It's just 416-905-647, whatever it may be. Because that's what you want to put there. Now you want to put the dash in between. You see, this is very important. Don't just put the number down, put the dash in between. Okay? You could have a solid line running through, and I know you guys are probably very good at putting your solid lines on there. Under your personal info, you can put your solid line. Now we are going to have, what is it we're missing up here? Objective or we have objective or profile, remember? So you need to type with something in there. She has name of position, and that's okay. Depending on what, if you're going for an entry-level job, intermediate job, you just want to have objective. Alrighty? If you're going for management position, you want to have a profile. You want to make note of that. For those of us who are going after management position after you finish your training or your intermediate job, make sure you put profile when you're going for that supervisor position or that, position that has some paying you at $100,000 a year. You want to put a profile on that. Are we good?
Yes.
Without the profile, the reader will not know what you're applying for. If you send me a resume and I don't know what you're applying for, what am I going to do with that resume?
Toss it in the garbage bin.
No, right? You said that. Garbage bin, yes. Chuck it. You're going to chuck it, right? So if you don't put what you want, then it's not going to go anywhere.
So, do we need to put this object or profile, or we can
Yes,
just...
yes. She missed it, so I'll just
do
do
we?
that.
Okay. In our CV, we don't need to put that objective or profile. We can straight away put that the employer knows that we have when we have mentioned the objective or the profile, or do we need to put the subject as objective or profile?
Okay, an objective is what our profile is. What am I applying for? What position am I
No,
applying
that's
for?
okay, but I'm asking is that in the CV, do we need to mention the objective or profile this heading?
I'm not getting it. The question. On your resume, CV, same thing.
Yeah, so in the resume we can see that you have mentioned objective or profile. Do we need to mention like that and then to put our objectives, or just straight
Yes,
away
you have to. No,
mention this?
you have to put it on the resume or the CV.
Okay.
Are you asking me on your cover letter? If you need to
No,
see?
on the CV. The
So it
resume.
must be on the CV, yes. Must be. If not, they're gonna check it. Okay, so that's what you have. The name of position is in your objective or your profile. That's the position. So you want to say, what am I applying for? You want to put a little bit of thing like, applying for a position as a customer service representative in the, which department were you in?
Sales and marketing.
In sales and marketing. But there are different divisions, right?
Yeah, general insurance, medical.
In the general insurance division, where I can apply, my skills and abilities, something like that. Okay? That'll be your objective. Now, if you want to write a profile, it can be like a very short paragraph, okay? Not more than about 4 or 5 lines, and you're okay with that. You can talk about, yourself and what that you are a professional in this area for you can talk about a little bit about your skills, a little about yourself, and that could be your profile. And you can do that. And what you need to put, very, very important, when you're writing your profile, please put what the job that you did, so they know what you're applying for. If you just write a profile about, or about good things about yourself, then they still don't know what you're applying for. You need to be very clear. They only have 30 seconds to look at it, right? 30 seconds. And if you don't tell them, they're not going to read the entire resume to find out what you've done. In the very top portion of here, this is what they look at. They look at your objective or profile, the highlights of qualifications, and they look at a little bit about your job history. So you need to include this in there for sure. Absolutely. Here she has, give the name of the job position you're applying for. And you could write a nice brief sentence about why you were the perfect person for that job. I have international culinary experience. There you go. Arranging various types of dishes. I'm great with knife skills. Got it? Make it catchy. Make it so they want to look at the rest of the resume. Okay. Highlights of qualifications. You can. Have you ever seen a resume say summary qualifications? That's okay too. It could be highlights of qualifications or a summary qualification. That's okay. You can choose. You want to put the number of years in the field of line of work, the relevancy, your education, training, or certification. You want to put the key skills that relate to and support your job objective. It must relate to the job they're offering or they're trying to fill. You can't put that I have excellent healthcare services when you're applying for a cook position. Got it? Okay. Very careful about that. This will take you to the what pile again? Is it time to bag?
Garbage bin.
It takes you to the garbage bin. Okay. All right, to the bag. Good, thanks. All right. Any additional skills that relate to your job objective? Perfect. Okay. I'm an excellent team player. I work well with people, and I, pay attention to details. Hey, there we go. Hey, person has to pay attention to details. As a cook, you have to work in a team environment, right? Really close in a team environment. And I make sure that each plate that comes out of that kitchen is presentable and it tastes good. Got it? Make sense? Some personal qualities or characteristics that support your job objectives. Okay. I'm flexible to work on various shifts. Hello. That's something that you want to put on if your job calls for shift work. Okay. You're able to manage heavy workload. Well, you want to say something about the job. Think about the job and think about your skill sets and think about your personal qualities that you can contribute. Okay, when you're writing this sentence. Other qualifications including communication skills and additional language skills. Now, I did mention that. If you speak more than one languages, please include it. Fluent in English, and ability to communicate verbally in other languages. Is that okay? Yeah. Ash, fluent in English. You just have to put bilingual.
Yep, I already have that on my
okay.
resume. I don't know if you had the chance to look at it. I threw it into my drive this morning.
No, I looked at the drive over the weekend, so no.
Oh yeah, then you wouldn't have seen that. Sorry.
Alrighty. Till then, you want to put your original language in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're able to communicate, you're fluent in both languages, I know, right? You read and write and everything.
Yes.
So fluent can mean that you're able to read, write, comprehend all of those things in both languages. If you're not able to, then just put, that you have the ability to communicate orally in the language. Sometimes we can't write the language, but we understand. Got it?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Relevancy in technical, very, very important. If the job asks you for technical abilities, software, social media knowledge, you need to put that. Really, really important. Because if the job needs somebody who's technical, sometimes the first thing they look at is the technical skills. What comes to mind? Do I have to teach this person how to use a particular software? No, they haven't. They have the software skills, so let's have a look further at the resume. So sometimes I always, like to see the technical skills like a little bit up front, not at the bottom, but at the top. Because employers like to know that you have the skills in the technical area that they may be looking for, someone to fill that position. Okay? It says 5 to 8 bullets. If you have 10 bullets, that's okay, that's acceptable. Make sure that they're speaking to your objective, okay? Very, very important. It is speaking to whatever written at the top here, your qualifications or summary. Okay. So now, if you have, remember we talked about your achievements? So this is where you would put your achievements. Achievements, that's what it's wrong. And Moby, you want to put your thingy in here, and you just put your achievements, okay? So if you have achievements, you put it right there. Because they're going to look at this and they're going to look at this before they even look down the bottom here. Okay, so we'll come to your job title now. So company name. Company name, the city or country. So if you work outside of Canada, you want to put Dubai, right? Very important. Or wherever. Is it the Bahamas it's called, right, Alicia?
Yes.
The Bahamas, and you want to put, the Bahamas is a country, so the city where Nassau, Bahamas.
Yes.
You want to put the year that you work with that company from 2020 to 2022. So here you're going to put that. You don't type the word to, T-O, it's a dash. So let me just put it here. It would be 2020 dash 2022. That's what we do not need the months. Not in the months in the resume. Just the years. Very, very important. Okay, so your company name would be the name of the company. And then you can also type it like this. You can put the name of the company and then put your job title below that. That's okay too. That format is fine. But when you're doing the alignment, use tab. Please, for heaven's sake, I've gone into some resumes and the amount of columns on the resume is there's so many columns in the resume, you can't work on the resume. So use tab. Just tab over to the dates, tab over to everything, so you can easily change it, okay? Makes sense, right guys?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to break some coffee now?
Yep.
Maybe.
I think we could all use some extra caffeine.
Okay. So we'll take a break and be back at 11:30. We'll just stop here for now then.
Okay.
All right.
Hey Siri, set an alarm at 11:30 a.m.
I turned on your 11:30 a.m.
Find out.
Enrico's Palmavu வழங்கும் Big Boss Season 6 powered by Alan Pure Brown Sugar மற்றும் Arun Chicken Lollipop Masala co-presented by Anika Whitening Body Lotion பஞ்சா நவகிரக சாம்பிராணி மற்றும் Dum Dum Dumi Movie ஒரு சிறிய இடைவேளைக்கு பின் தொடரும்.
பெஸ்ட் கேடர் கணக்கு இந்த ட்ரெயினிங் கேம்ப்ல யார் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வராங்களோ அவங்களுக்கு தருவாங்க. அது மட்டும் இல்லாம அவங்களுக்கு சொந்த ஊர்லயே போஸ்டிங் கிடைக்கும்.
அது இந்த கோப்பையை நீ ஜெயிச்சே ஆகணும். இந்த கோப்பையை நீ ஜெயிச்சு சொந்த ஊர்லயே போஸ்டிங் வாங்கிட்டு வருவேன்னு எனக்கு சத்தியம் பண்ணி.
அடுத்தடுத்து நிகழவிருக்கும் போட்டிகளில் சந்தியா தன் திறமையை நிரூபித்து கோப்பையை வெல்வாளா? ராஜா
பேரும் உங்கள் சக ஹவுஸ்மேட்ஸால் குறைவாக வந்த நபர்கள் என்று தேர்வு செய்யப்பட்ட காரணத்தினால நீங்கள் நால்வரும் அடுத்த அறிவிப்பு வரும் வரை வாழைப்பழப்பேட்டு ஏரியாவில் தான் இருக்கணும்னு சொல்லப்பட்டது. சிலர் இந்த விதிகளை மீறியிருக்கீங்க, சிலர் இந்த விதிமுறையை பின்பற்றி முறையாக நடந்திருக்கீங்க. விதிகளை மீறிய நபர்களுக்கு மீண்டும் முறை அதை தெளிவுபடுத்த அந்த 4 பேர் உங்கள் அன்றாட வேலைகள் மற்றும் டாஸ்கை தவிர்த்து மற்ற வேலைகளில் உங்களுக்காக கார்டன் ஏரியாவில் கொடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ள பனானா பெட் ஏரியாவில் தான் இருக்கணும். வீட்டிற்குள் அமர்ந்து சாப்பிட தூங்க அனுமதி இல்லை. வெளியே கொடுக்கப்பட்டுள்ள இடத்தில் தான் 4 பேரும் தூங்க. இவைதான் இந்த எளிய விதிமுறைகள். நீங்கள் 4 பேரும் அடுத்த வார நேரடி நாமினேஷன் லிஸ்ட்டில் சேர்க்கப்பட்டிருக்கீங்க. ஆனால் நீங்கள் வீட்டுக்குள்ள மீண்டும் செல்ல வாய்ப்புகள் வரும். அதை சரியாக பயன்படுத்திக்கிட்டா நீங்கள் வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயும் வர முடியும், அந்த டைரக்ட் நாமினேஷன் லிஸ்ட்டில் இருந்து வெளியேறும் வர முடியும். அதை மறக்காது. இதை நீங்கள் மறக்காதீங்க. இது முதல் நாள் என்பதால் நீங்கள் செஞ்சதை நான் மறந்துடுறேன். எல்லாரும் காலையில் கொஞ்சம் சத்தம் போட்டுட்டு ஆடி பாடிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. பாட்டு கூட கொஞ்சம் சத்தமாக பேசியிருந்தாங்க. உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப டிஸ்டர்பாக இருக்கு.
எனக்கு உள்ள ரூம்குள்ள சவுண்ட் கேட்கல பிக் பாஸ் படிச்சிருக்கேன்.
சரி, அடுத்த தடவை கிட்ட சொல்லி பெட்ரூம்ல மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் சத்தமாக இருக்கு சொல்லுங்க.
சாரி பிக் பாஸ்.
எழுந்து நின்று சுற்றி பாருங்க. பாருங்க, வெக்கப்படாது, சுற்றி பாருங்க.
துவங்கும் பொழுது வீட்டில் ஏதேனும் ஒரு பகுதியிலிருந்து குப்பை கொட்டப்படும். பஸ் நிறுத்தும் வரை வீட்டுக்குள் கொட்டப்படும். மூட்டை கணக்கில் அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க சுத்தம் பண்ணிக்கலாம். யார் சுத்தம் பண்ணணும்னா நீங்களே முடிவு பண்ணுங்க. ஒரு விஷயம் நினைவுல இருக்கட்டும், எல்லா லக்ஸரி பட்ஜெட் டாஸ்க்கும் இண்டிவிஜுவலுக்கு நீங்க ஸ்கோர் பண்ண ஒவ்வொரு பாயிண்ட்ஸும் அந்தந்த நபருக்கு கிடைக்கும். இருப்பா இல்ல ஸ்டோர் ரூம் ஆகியா
மதியம் 1:30.
Alrighty, we're back.
மதியம் 2 மணி.
Make sure you have the lunch cover on. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so where are we? Okay, so here you're going to list all the jobs and you're going to put the most previous one, the most current one on the top and work backwards, right? Okay. Got it, right? Everyone okay here? So when you're writing about the work that you have done at the company that you've worked at, make sure they somehow tie into the objective of the job you're applying for. You got it?
Yeah.
The employer may say, but this person is telling me about what they've done, as clerk when they're applying for an engineering job, right? So make sure it somehow ties into it. It could be that you, work in a team environment to get an assignment completed, something like that. Make sure it somehow ties into the position you're applying for. So that's what the chronological looks like. And then we're going to go into, after you finish your employment history, you're going to go into your education, right? So right below it, you're going to have your education. So you can see the name of your degree or diploma. You don't need to put a date here. So you could put whatever, if you put your high school, first of all, in Canada and I think worldwide, you tell me if it's wrong, Murphy, don't you have to have high school diploma to go into a university back home? Okay?
You need, but sometimes if you have some experience, working experience, maybe you can skip that and do a university degree. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Because here we do high school, and then we go from high school to university or college, whatever route is, and then so we don't need to put your high school date on your resume. If your college diploma is like recent, you want to put the date there, okay? You want to put the name of the school though, and the city and the country you obtained that degree in, or that certification in. or the diploma, I should say, whatever, college diploma, university diploma, you want to put the city, whatever city that you obtain it in. Very, very important. Now we come to professional development or additional training that you have received. You did, for instance, in Alicia's situation, she did training in handling different types of knives, correct? Alicia?
Yes.
She wanted to put that you've done, received training from whatever school, culinary school in knives. Because a person looking at this in the culinary world will understand what knives are.
Sound over.
Okay? So you want to put that if you got you got a certification or you got a recognition, whatever it may be, you want to put that here. You can also put that you finished this course and you want to date there. Very important, okay? So this is only a one-page resume. However, if your experience is you have a lot of work experience, you can go on to the second page, which is this page here. So on your second page, and I think, let me see if she did it. Okay. No, she forgot to put it. It's customary, it's not a must that you do this, but you could put your name on the second page. You could put Tilbank right at the very top, page 2. So we know the resume has a second page, and it has a second page, so this second page belongs to Tilbank. You got it?
Yes.
It's optional, but you could do that because everything is electronic now. We're not really reading paper anymore. Everything is on your computer. It's an optional thing, but you could do that. Say that they want to bring Taliban on board, and they're going to have a board meeting to talk about your resume. Not everybody's going to bring their computer into the boardroom. They're going to bring a piece of paper in their hand or something like that. So if they print it off, they would see that you have a second page. You got it? But for recruiters, they're looking at it online. When you're in that maybe tab, it is beneficial to put your second name, page 2 till then last name. Okay? These are the, okay, so for those of us who want to put our achievements, here are some examples. Think about, did you make or save money for your last employer? Did you create, design, or initiate a project? Or improve work procedure or service? These are all accomplishments, right? Did you receive recognition for your efforts at work? Definitely put that on. Did you successfully handle numerous work tasks or customer at all once? Did you resolve a customer complaint? That's something you want to mention, okay? So if you are going to, put an achievement heading, you could quantify it by dollars that you save the company, percentages, number of staff, students, clients, calls, projects, or accounts. If you increase the sale, all of that. If you cut costs, that is included. If you exceed the quotas, definitely put that. You increase productivity with staff or equipment, definitely put that. Alrighty, so these are some examples that you can use for your achievement on heading. For those of us who want to include achievements on your chronological resume, these are some of them. And so this is where your resume stops. Now, if you've done volunteer work, by the way, Alicia?
Yeah, I'm here.
You have done volunteer work, so, hang on, I have to plug in, what's that? Okay, so Alicia, this is where you would put your volunteer work, okay? Before your education. So you put volunteer, okay? Okay? And you put what you did. And I know you've done that, so you want to include that, okay? Before the application, so I'll just highlight that for you. So there we go. And it's not moving. There we go. And your resume stops right here. You're done. Simple as that. Is that simple?
Yes.
Very simple. Very, very simple. Okay. And down the bottom of your resume, your handout, and have it with you, are sample action words to use on your resume. So, never use the word I on your resume. If you do that, you're going to go into the trash can. Never put I did this, I won this, I performed this. So you're going to choose, you can choose some words, and I gave you this, plus I gave you another handout of tons of action words that you can use on your resume. So management skills, research skills, clerical skills, teaching and training skills. These are just some of the few that I've given you, and you have another 2 pages to it. So when you're writing a resume, I want you to use some of these words. Evaluated, right? Identified, organized, developed, designed, right? Directed, planned, prioritized. You want to choose some of these words, okay, everyone? Are we good?
Yes.
See how simple it is? I told you I was going to simplify it for you. Okay, so we're going to look at a functional resume now. Okie dokie, let me just stop sharing here and find the, stop sharing that one. I'm going to save it. Oh yeah, who's playing?
Moffitt needs a song now.
Okay. Let's look at a functional resume. Here, ready, let me share. You know, guys, it's not the length of your resume that makes it. It's what you include on your resume. Okay? Some people work 20 years and they think they can just walk in and get the job. In the same job, they're probably not. Depends on what you include on your resume. You have to write the resume for the employer. Remember that. You're not writing the resume for yourself. You're writing it for the employer. If you remember that, when you're writing your resume, it will be in the file that the employer is going to look at. You're not writing it for yourself. Alright, so functional resume, I'm sharing, where is it? One second, please. Here we go. Can you see my thing?
Yes.
Resume? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is your resume. It's a good resume. It's a good format, very good format. And a lot of people will use this format because they may have gap in their resume. In their work history. And this is a resume style that you want if you have gaps. So it's called a functional resume template. And the top never changes, just like what we had before. Nothing changes with that. Your name and the position, nothing changes. Your objective is the same. Your whatever you want to put. Your highlights of qualifications. You also doesn't really change is how you support the position you're applying for. Okay, that doesn't change. What is going to change is the relevant skills and accomplishments. Okay. relevant skills and accomplishments, this is how you're going to change this. So here, you have gaps in your resume, and you want to hide the name, not the name, you want to hide the dates. This is a resume format to use. So you're going to put special knowledge or technical skills, whatever skill set you have. General insurance work experience. Remember, look at the word relevant. You see the word relevant? It must speak to the position. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to list whatever the skills that it could be. Customer service skills. A lot of us have customer service skills. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, customer service skills. You can definitely put that there. Right? And then, because when the employer sees this, a type of resume like this, they're going to jump to your skill sets. Okay? So customer service skills. You may have cashiering skills. You may have cooking skills, culinary skills, sorry. You may have skills in making adjustments in the insurance world, an adjuster skill. You may have marketing skills. You got it? So this is where you're going to list all the major skills that you have. But make sure it applies to the position, okay? And here, if you don't have a lot of skills, skill set, you could use maybe 3. You don't have to have 4. If it's only 3 you have, it's only 3 you have. You have management skills. Right. Okay, so talk about your management skills here. You have skills about facilitating. Talk about your facilitating skills. You have human resources skills. Talk about your HR skills. You got it? So here you can shine. And at the same time, hide that you have gaps in your resume. Are we good?
Yes.
Right, Ash?
Yes.
Yep.
Alrighty, okay. And you don't have to have, you can have 3 or 4. No big deal. And I like this format. It's easy to understand. And here, we're going to talk about the work history. So at the very bottom of the resume, this is where we're hiding things. See? We're hiding things here. So you're going to put, general labor, the company you worked with, and the dates. Okay? Cashier, the name of the company you worked with, and the dates. Marketing assistant, company, city, and date. You got it?
Yes.
If you don't have a degree or diploma, this is also a great resume, because you could just put you have high school diploma, the name of the school, and the date. You can leave the date out. The date for your high school is not a must. Okay? If you see, a lot of us, we have our degree from a different country. We haven't got the assessment done yet because we haven't gotten to West. Here you can put that assessment through World Education Services, wherever you have in process. There you can put that, definitely. If you want to choose this resume, this format. This is a really easy one to work with. Do you agree?
Yes.
May not work for everybody, but it will work for some of us who have, especially when you're changing careers. This is a good one when you change careers. Because I know Televanis wants to change from what he was doing to what in the marketing and sales and the technical associate, right, Televanis?
Yes.
So you have customer service skills. You have some technical skills because you know about phones, right?
Yes.
You can list these, right? You have teamwork skills. You know how to work and collaborate with people. Got it?
Yes.
You can use those headings. because they all apply to the position. So here you can definitely use this. And again, you're going to list your job in reverse chronological order. So the most recent at the top, and the first job would be at the bottom, something like that. Okay, so this is a really easy format. And again, your font is and everything is the same. Don't change it. You must have when you do your resume, make sure you have white space on your resume. Do not use every single piece of white space and type into it. It is really hard on the eyes when you do that. Make sure it is well aligned. Make sure that the format is not mixed with chronological and all the other ones. If it's functional, it's functional. If it's chronological, it's chronological. And I'll show you the combination of it. But choose a format and stick with it. Do not mix them. Whenever you choose your font, do not mix the font. Stay with the same font. You can make it bigger. You can bold it, but do not mix Times Roman with Calibri. One font and one resume format. Do not mix them. A good person who, like a recruiter, they know the formats off the top of their head. And the moment you see the resume that is mixed, it's like, nah, not looking at that. Let's put it in the trash can. So don't mix up your resume, your formats, okay? So the function resume focuses on transferable skills. You see that? Remember the transferable skills we talked about earlier on?
Yes.
Put them in there. Put them in there. You want to put that in there. You're able to work, you follow directions well. All those little things are very, very important. Some of us put your interpersonal skills and transferable skills and or soft skills. Use those transferable skills and highlight this type of resume. Okay? If you don't have the hard skills to go with the job, you pick up on those soft skills and the transferable skills. If you have achievements, absolutely include your achievements the same format as shown on the chronological resume. In the same format, don't change it. Okay? We talked about this. Okay, so this is just I think it's the same action words we're giving you here. So here you can again, once you have this format in your inbox, you can pick it up, you can customize it for yourself and copy paste whatever you prefer to do. You can definitely use this. Another thing that I wanted to point out to you, with your heading, by the way, you can right align it or left align it. You know that, right? It doesn't have to be centered. You there?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to center this. It can be right align, left align. So it's your choice. Absolutely your choice. A lot of people center it because it kind of stands out to the employer. I've gone on the internet and I've seen some resumes and it's like, OMG. There's so many tabs and columns and alignment and different fonts and graphics. And it's like, really and truly, if you're applying for an artist position, yes, do something like that. Make it really fancy. But when you're applying for a regular job, don't go that route, okay? And just don't pick up a format from the internet and just, this is going to work. Make sure that it works for you and it's what the employer is looking for. Okay, simple format. Again, 1 page. If you're applying for management position, 2 pages, no more than 2 pages. Maximum 2, 1 is great. Are we good?
Yes.
Any questions on this one? So
No.
here you can put all your good, the skill sets that you have. They have 1, 2, 3. There we go. You could use 3. In Taliban, you could use this Taliban because you have customer service skills, right?
Yes.
For the job you want to apply to, you have technical skills, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, definitely use it. You have teamwork skills,
Yes.
you could use it as some of your transferable skills. Put that in there. Because you're changing careers, so you don't have a lot of actual major hard skills that you can transfer. So make some of your transferable skills into headers and write about it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to show you the combination one. My combination. Okay. Alrighty. So here you can see for yourself. You can see my combination, yes? It's the same setup. Same highlights, relevant skills and accomplishments. And here you're going to list the skill that applies to the position at the top. But at the bottom, we're going to bring in the chronological format here. So here is a part of the functional. You got it? And here
Yes.
is a part of the chronological. Very easy. So if you're hiding gaps in your resume, the employer is going to see right up front that you did not work in 5 years. So, you could use this if this speaks to you, but if you're trying not to, to say that I didn't work because of reasons, then don't use this format, but use a functional format. Everything remains the same, your education, professional development, everything is the same. The only change you have is a combination, as it states, the word combination of the chronological at the second part of your resume, and the top portion are your skill sets. Everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so anyone going to use this format?
Yeah, this one looks good.
Mine is actually currently this format, but I'm thinking of changing it to a functional one.
Okay, alrighty, see? Alrighty, good. You can always, and that's so easy to do because you can always cut and paste, right, Ash?
Yep.
Yep, easy stuff. Once you have it down, you can cut and paste. So another thing I want to tell you guys, you can always have a master resume. You know what I'm saying? Just make one big one. You can put all your skill set on it, and when you're applying for a job, you cut and paste from it. So you don't have to do the work all over again. Or copy and paste, I should say, not cut. You make a master resume, right? With all your skill sets, all the stuff that you want to add, but when you're writing for the specific job, you can copy and paste from it. So you don't have to start thinking, oh my gosh, I have to write a resume from scratch. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, because you may apply for different jobs at different times, as you grow in your career or as you grow in your personal life or whatever, you may want to look at other positions that will come up over the time. Don't go start working all over again. Just have your master, save it, and copy and paste. Okay? Okay, and the combination resume focuses on transferable skills and results. Oh, there you go. Because the results is a part of the chronological, and the transferable is a part of the what? Functional. Okay, everything is the same. Nothing changes. Your education and professional developments, nothing changes at the bottom. Everything is the same. All the changes you're going to do is at the top portion of it. And oh, okay, so this is the same copy, a copy of the same action words that I've in the other resumes. So now that we've talked about all the three different formats, I know Ash is going to do the functional. Philip, which one are you going to do? You're thinking of?
The chronological one. Maybe the mixed one. Yeah.
The combination?
Yeah, it depends. Like I have to see. Yeah.
Okay. And Murphy, which one are you thinking of? Combination. Okay. And Alicia?
Functional.
Functional. Okay, perfect. Look at that. You guys know it top of your head. What you want to do? Wow, I'm impressed. Nice. So now that you guys got a good understanding, I hope, of the different types of resume, we are going to, let me just finish up the presentation. And we can take our lunch break. And I'm going to get you, everybody, to start putting their resume together. I'll be here, okay, to help you along. Let's see if we need to do the entire workshop here. Okay, I know we all have a resume, so it says how to start if you don't have a resume. I'm not going to go with that one because we all have a resume, so I'll go on to the next one. Acknowledge that a resume is a living document and therefore subject to change both over time. We talked about that, with additional work experience and based on the type of position applied for. The length of your resume, a core resume, should be no more than 2 pages. We talked about that. And we're going to list all the good stuff. If you require listing of publications, if you are, belong to a body, you list that. Accomplishments, list that. Justification, okay. So never right center your resume unless it's the header or if you're going to do right or left at the top, but never the body of the resume. You got it? You can do your personal information right or left or center, but at the body of the resume, it should be left justification only left, never right. I've got a resume that was right justified. I'm going, oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. So font size, 11 or 12 point, depending on the font you use. So look at the font and see, is this readable? Is it clean? Right? Is the employer be able to understand the words? So make sure you can choose any of these. Your choice. Nothing too fancy. Okay, we talked about that, about phone numbers, don't include home, cell. We know, just put your phone number. You said don't write phone numbers there you go. Nowadays, we all have a cell phone, am I correct? We don't have, anybody have a home line?
No.
I don't either. So, just put your number on. Oh, here she had it. Include name, phone. I wouldn't put my phone number, I just put my name on the second page, okay, at the top of the second page of your resume. Same thing we talked about, don't write email, you don't need to do that. And can you include decorative lines? So yeah, you can put definitely a bold line under your, to define, excuse me, to define between the body of the resume and your personal information. You can definitely do that. talked about that, your heading of your objective. Here's an example. A position as a career facilitator where I can apply over 5 years of employment counseling and training experience. You got it? A little sentence to go with your objective. Are you guys okay with that? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Just say a little bit more about why you're applying for this position, because I have excellent customer service skills. Okay? Or I have technical abilities in the with telecommunication, applying where I can apply my skills or something like that. Just don't put objective as a something. You want to put a little bit more than that. Summary of qualifications, highlights of qualifications. She has no more than 8 bullets here, but I think you're okay with 10, should be okay. If you want to put 10, but 8 is fine. Any special skills, designation, membership related to the position, absolutely put that. The languages, we talked about that. And definitely, if you're Microsoft proficient in Microsoft Suite, you want to put that. You know, we know how to use Word and Excel and all the other things. Well, they don't know that you have the skill set, so put it. Proficient in Microsoft Suite. There we go. Because you guys know how to do this, right? Try to include concrete things and say, and if possible, avoid using worn out expressions such as well-developed interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills cover a wide range of skills. So they don't know, if you say interpersonal skills really and truly, they don't know what you're talking about. So you need to put, just break it down for them. Team player, multitasker, lifelong learner. You know, you can use them if that's all you can come up with, but try to avoid these ones. Anyone can say these things about themselves, but it's important to demonstrate these qualities throughout your resume. Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry. Remember that 40% of your resume at the top, the half page, I talked about that, is crucial, make or break point in the decision to come in for you to get called in for an interview or not. Make it impactful and relevant, right? Impactful and relevant to the job. Okay. It says here to, I talked about the chronological, right? So when you do your work experience, you can go back 10 years, but don't go beyond 10 years, okay? Don't go 15 years or 12 years.
Okay.
They want to see the most, most recent employment, work history there. You can bold your job title, by the way. Okay, so on your resume, you never bold and underline at the same time. You got it? Don't bold and underline. Try not to break up job descriptions from one page to the next, if you can avoid it. If you're doing accomplishments, you could show your numbers. If not, you could speak about how you assist in areas in the company. Ask yourself, so what? After each job duty, you write down, ensure that it's relevant to include. Make 8 to 10 points per job. You may change it. You may change if only had one job. So, if you only work at one place, you could include more, because then your resume is going to be super short. Am I correct? Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we can have a one pager or a two pager. What she's saying is that education and training or education and professional development can be linked in. Okay, you can put it together. So as to make it, if it's going to go onto the second page, I will just make it under one heading. Includes dates, course of name, professional development, degree, diploma, institution. Try to translate it to English, if possible, to ensure it is understood and relevant to the reader. Okay, so we have our degree, we have our diploma, and we're going to put it in order of try to translate into English. Okay, so I don't. This is not relevant. Try to translate into English. Okay, so let's move on. We talked about that. Memberships or certifications. If, say for instance, you're in the real estate market and you're applying for a job as an agent, all agents have to be a member of the what? The TREB, right? Right, Ash? Is Ash there?
Yeah, I'm here, sorry. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, so you all have to be a member of TREB, which is an organization that governs the, this type of work. So you want to put that there. If you're a member of any in the insurance industry, in the language and art industry, you want to put that there. If you're a member of the hospitality industry, because there are memberships there as well, you want to put that, or any certification that you've gained. It's optional, but it's good to have, because it is relevant to the job. And we know this, political affiliation, no, we're not going to put that. We all know that. Volunteer work, Alicia. It adds value, okay? So especially you want to put that if you've done some volunteer work here, as your first job, you want to include what you did. Okay. Hobbies and interests for all have the four, well, yeah, I wouldn't put that, don't put it. They'll ask you at the interview. Reference available under price, I wouldn't put that in there, because everybody knows about references. They're going to ask for it in an interview if they're going to move forward with the application, only if they're going to move forward. Okay, so this is the applicant tracking system, ATS, how to beat the machine. Remember that star and power we talked about? Accomplishment statement, you want to include that. Situation, task, action, result. Problem, action, result. So, hello, anyone? Yeah. Is that you making noise in the background there? Okay, so I'm going to say this. To beat the machine, you can use this, but you need to have a close look at the requirements of what is it that you bring to the table. Not what you bring to the table, what they're asking you to bring to the table. What they're asking you to bring with you when you apply for the job. You want to use those buzzwords in your resume at the top portion of your resume. This is a requirement of the job. What it is that you must have these to get noticed. So use those words from the requirement and add it in your statement. Add it to your when you're explaining, in your summary of qualifications, in your profile, in your summary of or objectives or qualifications and skill sets. You want to use those buzzwords, and that is what you're going to beat the ATS. Because when the recruiter or the manager is looking That's the word. Those are the words that type into the computer. That's the word. Those are the words that type in their system. And your resume will come forward because you have those things in the resume. If they're not in there, they're not going to come forward. That is with the ATS. If you're applying to smaller companies, then you're going to write a really good resume, but it's going to be seen by a person. So you could definitely use the requirements if that's what they have. But remember, different ways of viewing the resumes. But if you want to be the assistant with large organizations, use those words from their requirements and put them in your statement. Make sense?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So analyze the job description and more so the requirements. See if you got it here, big and bold. Determine the skills needed to the job to do the job. Compare your skills to the job description and the requirements. Choose your resume format. You can focus on and writing accomplishment statements. Perfect. And get started. Here's a little joke. How would you write, I changed a light bulb on my resume? Someone read that for me. Anybody can read it for me.
All right. Single-handedly managed the successful upgrade and deployment of new environmental illumination system with zero cost overruns and zero safety incidents.
Well done, Ash. Well done. Alrighty, so you see, although
Wow.
you may not have done, this is, it's part about technical abilities, changing a light bulb. Hey, look how it's written. Wow, really impressive.
He
right?
achieved something.
Yeah, what did you say? Okay, so let's take a break for lunch. We're going to have to take lunch today because I'm going to work with you as you put your resume together after lunch, okay?
Okay.
Alright, Melissa, are you leaving us today or are you going to be working on your resume?
I am free, but one.
Oh, at once. Okay, so what I'd like you to do for me is to put a format together. I have your resume. It looks right, but it just needs to be tweaked, fixed up. So I want you to choose a format, and you know the format you want. So what I'd like you to do is copy and paste what you have done into this format.
Okay.
And fix it up nicely, make it look presentable. It is presentable, but you know what I'm saying. And send me a copy, okay? So that is going to be your homework for today.
Okay, can you email me the handout with the format because I don't ever get it in the drive.
No, it's in your drive.
All right, let me look.
Okay, are you there? Okay. Oh, he's
Moffitt already on the break.
No.
Tiffany, can you tell her how to open up her drive? Because everything is in her drive. I can view her drive. I saw your resume in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the hand.
But like the way I go is I go to I type Holly in email and click the Google Drive link she initially sent. So when I go through that, it all's there. But when I go by myself, it looks different.
Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, which assignment is this?
Ash? Let's ask Ash. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Did you get the handout?
Are they just the ones that are under resume handouts?
Yeah.
Yep, I have them.
How did you access your box? Can you tell us?
I mean, I just went to the Google Drive website, went into my personal folder that you set up, and then it's just under a folder called Resume Handouts.
So guys, how come you not all get the same thing?
I have.
Can I share my screen with you?
Share it with, I'm not techie savvy, so when it comes on to those things. Share it with Ash. Yeah, you can share it with Ash. Can you help her out?
I can try. I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to figure out what the problem is, but I can give it a shot.
Or anyone, we will take lunch time you lose in your lunch break, we'll gain it back. Can someone help her because this is really crucial?
Okay, let's share the screen and see what we can do.
Can you share the screen?
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing with this. Okay. Okay, so you want me to give you access to share?
Sure.
All right, let me give you access to share. And who is going to help her?
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah,
We
we're all
try.
here, so
I'm
we
going to
might as
give
well.
everybody. Okay, I'm giving everybody access.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Let's
I like
try
it.
everyone's method and see which one works.
Okay, and co-host and repeat. Command, make co-host. Yes.
Can you see it?
Okay.
Yes, we are seeing it.
Yep, we can see it.
So your problem is that you are not seeing the folder by.
Yeah, you're not looking at the direct folder. You're looking just through your
Yeah.
thing. Go into the shared with me tab on the left. Right there where it says Alicia, right click on it. No, sorry, not left click, right click. Although this
Now she's seeing all of
Now
them.
you have
That
it.
is the
Okay, that's the method works actually. This is how we see I see all of them.
Yes. Now you can write that down how to do it, Alicia.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
Okay.
Thank
So
you
now
very much.
you have everything in there. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. You have a great lunch. So we'll come back. What time are we coming back? There's no 12:20.
110.
yes.
110.
What time?
Yeah, I have no idea. Math is not like
110. We are coming.
We're coming back at 1:10.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. So see you guys. Have good lunch.
You too. Thanks.